Hey guys, so I started pouring this tic-tac-toe set and I'm so bad. I get going and then I forget to go live. So hold on. I'm still in my jammies. It's a pajama day. Tina's off and she's not doing anything but this stuff. All right, so I already started pouring the tic-tac-toe table. And I'm gonna make the mini one to go with it. And I needed to mix some more resin for my X's and O's. So here we are. I'm gonna mix a good amount of both because I'm gonna pour the excess into the mini board. I don't have a scale yet, so I get the ounce cups. The ounce cups are really good. It's a little bit of a waste because you're using, multiple cups to mix. I'm gonna get the silicone and the scale soon so I can minimize it to just one. All right, so we're gonna mix some more glue. Okay. This is just Azure, just a blue. And I'm putting about 5 mini scoops. The scooper is so small because if I have anything bigger, I'm gonna overdo it. I just start off small and then go big. Okay. And then I'm gonna put in some of my hollow. Chameleon hollow, whatever you want to call it. Couple of little scoops of that. Okay. The other one, putting 2 different ones. They both have almost like a green hue, keeping it closer to matching nice with the gold. And it's for a little boy, so I didn't want to make it have like the purples and the pinks kind of casting around it. This one has a little bit of the purple, but not too much. Okay. All right. So that's that one. Now we're gonna do more gold. Gloves get sticky super fast, so I always keep a little paper towel next to me to kind of like give me a little alcohol on my fingertips so I don't stick as much. But then it goes through the gloves, the gloves don't last as long, so. A little more. Okay, so this is just a gold. And this I'm gonna put just a little hollow gold too, but it's more still like on the guyish side. It's got like a little bit of red with the gold. Kind of like a copper. Okay. It's pretty. So the two pieces I'm making right now are actually for guys. So it's quite interesting to, you know, make things that are nice, but not too on the feminine side too, because, you know, mica powder itself is shimmery, unless you use alcohol ink, which is going to give it more of a solid base versus being so shimmery and shiny or whatever. So it's been neat to play around. I'm going to pour the X's and O's in the mini board. And then I'll let these all sit overnight. And then I'll come back and I'll do a final layer on the back of the tic-tac-toe table. Of both of these again, just swirl through. All right. So I was thinking the O's should be the gold. That's my thought. That's what I'm going with. And just pour slow. You know, let it drizzle until you get the hang of like how deep you should like throw your wrist. I have the worst wrists, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave a little layer and put a little blue on the back, I think. No, we're not. We're not doing that too. Little goes a long way. If you put less, you can always go back and put more. You know? So, just go easy with the pour. These large tic-tac-toe boards are so cute. You know, I started thinking about doing this business because I realized out of everything like my son likes to do, this is the only thing, tic-tac-toe and dominoes, ever since he was little, no matter what he was doing or, you know, having, you know, playing his video games or whatever, hanging out with his friends. If I said, hey, you want to play dominoes or tic-tac-toe, like, he'd come running. So something about these games is just really motivating for my son. And the strategy, you know, some people might think it's very simple, but life is one big strategy, right? We learn where our health comes from, our wealth, our life, and we choose to accept it or we don't. I do. You know, if it was not for Jesus, I couldn't be here even with the blessing to go ahead and do this, right? So I'm grateful for that. And I'm just going to go in and go around the circle real quick, give it a couple little stabbies. Just to make sure it's down. And it's going to be flush and even when it dries. No air bubbles. I am going to start a storefront, and I'm going to make a link page for all of the things that I use. I just haven't gotten there yet. This is so cool, this blue. Oh my God. So good. These are going to be the X's. And the X's, you want to kind of go a little, you know, be diligent because you want to get it in those corners, right? So you want to make sure those get filled in first, and then worry about the volume. Just let that sit while you pour the other one. Let those bubbles rise. This is kind of like pouring the dominoes too. You always kind of want to do the perimeter first to make sure those corners get really nice and filled in. Because if you don't, then you take them apart and then you got to file them because some of the corners don't truly get filled in and it looks like they're broken. So go in here, gently just move it around. And it'll help the effect of, like, you know, whatever you put in it. So the chameleon powder and the hollow, whatever you want to call it. Gold flakes, you know, all that stuff you can manipulate. Okay. And you don't want to over pour because what's going to happen is it's going to spread, it's going to self-level once the bubbles all get popped, and it's going to harden over your mold. So that's why, you know what, less is more. You can always go back and put a top coat. Okay, and that's perfect. Just the perfect amount. Those will be nice and flat. You look at the gold. I could put just a tiny bit more in the gold. Tiny bit. I'm just gonna go with my stick because I don't want to overdo it. I just want to give it enough. And those bubbles are gonna push it up. So make sure it gets off that nub. Give it some movement. All right, so that's that. Now I'm going to take my mini board. I'm just going to shift this up. Ooh. Okay. Thank God for that self-leveling resin, right? Oh my God, look at me. It's crazy. This is how we're going to be today. Comfy, but productive. All right, so now I'm going to lay this one and this. I'm going to do these first so I don't have to mix more up, because I could stretch this more in here than in here. Once I pour it all in the table, it's not gonna do the O's with this blue. And then we'll do the X's gold. Switch it up a little. And this one's cute because it's a travel. You know, you can take it on vacation. Throw it, you know, put it in a little box, little satchel. And just take it. And it really does pass time. Like, we used to play tic-tac-toe if we would go out to eat. You know, just passes some time. Little friendly competition. Never hurts anybody. And these games are straightforward, you know what I mean? There's no blurring the lines. Not much cheating that can occur. Alright, so we got those poured. Little X's. These are hard to pour. The little X's, I'm not gonna lie. You gotta, woo! Gotta be quick but slow, you know? It's tough. Woo! Okay. Just gonna let that settle. That was a little much, but it'll get in there. Give it a little bubble pop. Clean it up. There we go. Now it's leveling out. Okay. Not easy to pour these little guys. I see some people use pipettes, but it never works for me. The epoxy's too thick to come back out, in my opinion. All right. So I'm going to let those level out. Pour some of the blue. Make this one a little different. So these ones are really awesome. If you do want a set, I do 25 for the custom tic-tac-toe large, and you get the small one with it, you know? So 2 for 1, 25, homemade piece, whatever you want, colors. Yeah. And that's it. I have not picked what I'm going to ship with yet. So that will play into a factor of final price. But if you're local, I don't mind meeting up with you. If you're like literally in the same state as me, I'm in New York, or upstate New York, like Pennsylvania corners, New Jersey corners, we can meet halfway, whatever, you know. Some people would rather drive to pick something up than pay shipping. I guess it's all in the state of mind, but I'm flexible. And then I'm just gonna fill in what did not. You see all the space here? I'm gonna fill it in with the gold. But I'm gonna do it just with my little wood stick here because it gives me more control. And a little really goes a long way. This is gonna be cute. Okay. Go into my mold here, pop a few bubbles. It's been resting for a little bit. This resin that I use is really great. It degasses, it levels itself. I do still have to get a leveling board, even though it's excellent at leveling, self-leveling. My table, I got this table. I was like, ooh, this is perfect. It's gonna be level on its own. It's a great table for crafting, but it's not as level. I keep getting the shift when things finally dry, and then I gotta go into the corners and kind of just level it out. So I'll just get a leveling board, and that'll be the end of it. All right, so that's done for now. And I have this left over, so I want to finish this off with that. But I want to give this a little bit more time to set because I don't want everything to fall through. Yeah, so these are super cute. 2 for $1, $25 for the large. And then you get the travel one to match. It will be the same. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? If you want 2 separate, then we'll figure that out. But what you get on the big one is you'll get on the small one, but maybe just a little different, like I did this. Switch up the pieces or whatever. All right. Let's see how wet this is. Pretty wet. Just spray them both with some alcohol. This is 91%. This will help any other little bubbles that might be in there to come to the surface. And then it really helps keep your mold clean too. Because if you don't over pour, you can spray it and come back in with just a little Q-tip. Stick it and get that excess off. So when you peel it out, you don't have all these little pieces you gotta pick off, because who wants that? So it's worth taking the 2 seconds to go around and just clean it up. I am not someone who likes unnecessary things. You know what I mean? Like, I try to be intentional with what I'm doing. So stuff like this is like, it makes it or breaks it, honestly. Because you want you want someone to receive a clean, nice product, right? You don't want... Some things you might have to sand a little bit, you know, depending. Like, you always kind of want to sand your chest pieces. They don't really have rounded edges like this. They're more sharp. So when they dry, you kind of want to buff it out a little. But other than that, we are going to let this sit a little bit more. And then I'm going to go in with the blue, with the backing. And I'm going to take them both and I'm just going to swirl them at the same time. It's going to look really cool in the back. Put a little bit more blue here. Because when I pour the backing, I don't want it to take away from this. So I want this a little thicker. Let that settle out. All right, so I'm gonna let that just kind of cure out. For a few minutes. It's all pretty level now around the corners. Like I said, that's like the most important. You want the corners to be as level as possible with the first pour. Like, the middle you can always build up. And it's always gonna spread. So, colors help move colors. But the sides and edges are like the most important to make sure are level with the first pour. All right, so I'll come back on and show you later where I'm at. I'm gonna pour the rest of this in probably like 10 minutes. So I'll come back on and do that. And then we gotta work on dominoes to match the chest set, plus the other set of pieces.